Hey guys, welcome to Line Check episode 10. So my guest today is Max Santoro. He's the former drummer of Vesta Collide and he is now currently performing with 1000 Below. I sat down with Max here in Toronto when his current tour package came through. 1000 Below is currently on the road with Miss May I, The Word Alive, and Afterlife. I had a really great time sitting down with Max and catching up. We've been friends for a couple years and I haven't seen him in a while, so I really enjoyed filming this episode and I really hope you enjoy our conversation. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Max Santoro.
So you just got off stage.
Yes, sweaty, sorry. Stoked to be here, dude.
Hell yeah, man. Me too. We've been talking about doing this for a while now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that it's finally come together. I'm glad we're doing it in person.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
And you have not been able to because you just joined a new band.
Yeah. So the band is called 1000 Below. We're on Rise Records. I just joined before they had the last album out, obviously. So they have an album out already, and I worked on the new album with them, music videos and stuff. It's all wrapped up, and yeah, that'll be out in the fall. We're on tour with Miss May I and The Word Alive right now, and it's been a good time.
So you're 5 days in?
Yes.
Cool. What have been some highlights so far? I know that's only a couple shows, but
the shows have been good. Yeah, I'm really stoked about the people on the tour. Like everybody's been super cool so far. Like you said, we're only 5 days in, and already like I could tell it's just gonna be like a homie kind of situation. Everybody's super cool. I think it's gonna probably be my favorite tour I've done so far. So
right on. That's good to hear. So this is your first Canadian date of the tour?
Yes.
Right on. Did you guys cross it? You were at the Shelter last night, right?
2 nights ago.
2 nights
we
ago.
had a night out. Yeah.
So you crossed at Detroit?
Yeah. Right after that show, we packed up. We crossed. They actually stopped us, and we had to wait around for a while. But it was all good. We weren't breaking any laws or anything. We're good people. And yeah, we're here now. We had a day off yesterday. We got a hotel with a pool. We were swimming all day, just hanging out. And now we're here. And I think tomorrow we are in Montreal, and then we go back to the States after that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that your first time playing Montreal?
Yes. The only Canadian date I've played so far was Toronto a few months ago with the Dance Gavin Dance tour.
Right on.
Yeah.
So other than that record, that's basically what you've been up to, I guess. It's just like recording and getting to know the band that you just sort of joined.
Yeah.
How did that come to be? How did you get involved with this?
So I was in a band before called Vesta Collide, and we did a tour summer 2017 with 1000 Below. It was actually their first tour, and things kind of went downhill with Vesta Collide. I don't wish to get too crazy into details with that, but yeah, so that happened. Vesta was done, and 1000 Below's drummer decided he wanted to leave the band and just pursue other things. So I needed a band, they needed a drummer, and yeah, they hit me up, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. So let's just start from your beginning, your roots,
Mm-hmm.
like where you came from. So like what's your hometown? Where were you born? That kind of stuff.
So I'm from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour, I think, like northwest of Philly. Not a whole lot going on there. They had a good music scene a few years ago. I feel like it's kind of died down quite a bit though. But when I was younger, I was playing sports and stuff. I wasn't very good, and I don't know, around like the age of like 9 or 10, I started listening to like Nickelback and like Simple Plan, and I just started like getting into like rock and punk and stuff. And I wanted to learn an instrument, so I actually went to this like School of Rock kind of thing, and I wanted to learn guitar. And I took like guitar lessons there for a little while, for like a few weeks, and they had a drum set there, and I just sat behind the drums, and I could kind of just like naturally play like just a simple like 4-count like hat, kick, snare thing. So I was like, I'm going to do drums instead because this feels more natural and easy for me. And I just started doing that, and yeah, I started actually playing drums for a band that the instructor at that school, his name was Zach, and he got me like really into music, gave me like really good experience early on, and I started playing drums in his band. I was playing shows. I was probably about like 11 or 12 at the time when that started happening. So I started really getting serious with drums when I was probably like 12, and started playing shows, and yeah, that's kind of how I got involved in it. I liked it, and I just was like, I'm going to keep doing this, and I quit playing sports and just played drums.
So did you take did you take private one-on-one lessons at all?
So when I decided I wanted to play drums, I actually taught myself for a few years, and then by the time I was like 16, maybe like 16 or 17, I started going to this guy back in Reading. His name is Shane Rosum, and he's in the Philadelphia Eagles drum line. So like at that time, I started getting into like metalcore and stuff, and I started playing more complex stuff. But it was all like single stroke, very simple. Well, not simple, but like not crazy rudiment stuff and stuff like that. And Shane was the one who kind of opened me up to that world of like rudiments and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from him about like theory and all that kind of good stuff, and I feel like that really opened up my my eyes to like how intense it could all be with drumming and everything. And yeah, he taught me all that stuff. I took lessons with him for a few years, and I went off to college and kept drumming the whole time.
So when did you start lessons with him? Like what age?
Like I think it was 16. Yeah.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah.
And then like before that, leading up to that, how long have you been playing?
I think, well, like I said, at that School of Rock thing, I was probably about 11, but I think I really started like taking drumming seriously when I was like 12. I'm 22 now, so like 10 or 11 years roughly.
Right on. Hell yeah. Did you do through high school? Were you involved in like school band or like drumline, anything like that?
No, I wasn't. And the school I went to, it was a Catholic school, and they were very focused on athletics and sports and stuff. And I liked where I went to high school. People were really nice and everything, but I think it kind of sucks that they didn't really focus too much on music and the arts. I think that's something they should definitely work on. So, yeah.
What's the name of the school?
Burke's Catholic High School in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Okay, there you go. We'll slice that out and send it to them.
Let's do it. I want them to see this.
There you go. Right on, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So what were some of your early like influences as far as like music goes? Like early on, like was there like Green Day or what were some of the bands that kind of like influenced you at the drum set?
So yeah, I started like when I started like picking up drums, like before I started taking lessons, and I was just learning kind of on my own. I was really into like Simple Plan, Green Day, Nickelback. Just a lot of like 4/4, a lot of like pop punk kind of stuff, like faster stuff, I guess. I learned just like single stroke rolls and stuff like that. And then when I think I was like 13 or 14, I had heard of We Came as Romans. And I didn't like metal, I didn't like screaming, but the clean singing, I think it was To Move On Is to Grow was the first song I heard. And just like the clean singing and like the melody of it, I was like, this is really, really cool. And I started listening to that song a lot, and the screams kind of grew on me, and then I got into like metalcore and all that stuff, and I started listening to that and playing that, and I think that was like my transition into the kind of music that I enjoy playing today.
I feel like there's always like I've described it in other videos and like reactions as like gateway drug. I feel like there always has to be one band that has enough cleans to be able to hook you, and then you can kind of like sort of get accustomed to the screams, and then you get to the point where you really love it. What was outside of We Came as Romans? What were some of the other bands that you started to get into at that time?
I See Stars, Crown the Empire.
So you just went right in metalcore. Hell yeah.
It was like at first We Came as Roman. It was really only that song too, and then I checked out like To Plant a Seed, and then that's when I started diving into like that whole scene of music, and like I See Stars, Crown the Empire. I don't know, just all those like pioneer bands. I mean, Asking, even like Attack and stuff like that. So yeah, just got into that stuff and kept up with it as the years have gone on. Yeah.
So what was the first like harder like metalcore track that you took on it to learn?
It wasn't To Move On Is to Grow, because that shit was hard for me at the time. I don't know.
What's the name of that drummer too? That was the original We Came as Romans drummer.
Eric Choi.
Eric, that's right.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he is. I just did a We Came as Romans cover recently, and it was it was Hope, so he was still in the band at the time that was released.
Yeah,
he's all about those little cymbals.
Yeah, the splashes and the bells and stuff.
Yeah, he's all about that
cool.
shit. Yeah. Jared was up here a moment ago, and he called them. What did he refer to the cymbals as?
Oh, I don't remember. It was really funny though.
No, don't worry about it. I can't remember either. It was so good. Knickknacks. Yeah, he called them knickknack cymbals.
That's a good word for them. They're so fun too, dude. Like I love it. Like 1,000 Below isn't huge on China cymbals, so like I don't have my Chinas with me this run, but because I have an 18-inch Zildjian Oriental China, and then I have a 12-inch like little effect Zildjian Oriental China, and they're like, no China as well. I was like, I'm bringing my fucking splash. Like, that's coming with for sure. So I incorporate into the set as much as I can. I love that thing. It just makes it so much fun, you know, spicing it up a little bit with that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Well, fun. I mean, I know Vesta, and I now know 1,000 Below because of you. Yeah. And Vesta definitely was heavier. Do you miss that, or has it taken some adjustment?
So the thing about Vesta was like that kind of music. So I was like 19 when I joined that band, and at the time I was really still into that. I'm 22 now, and I feel myself kind of diving less into like the metalcore stuff. So playing it was a lot of fun because drumming that stuff is really, really awesome. But I don't really listen to that stuff as much anymore. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say. But at the time, I was like super, super about it. But I don't know. I feel like as I've gotten older, I've kind of not necessarily grown out of it, but just kind of opened my mind to, you know, different genres and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's probably it probably really helps your playing too, to like bring in other influences.
Yeah,
So what are some of the genres that you've like kind of stepped into outside of this one, outside of metal?
I don't know, just like I like all kinds of music. Sometimes I'll just like be down in like my basement, just grooving to like EDM stuff or like really anything, or even like, I don't know if have you ever heard of the band Lydia? So they're like an indie pop rock band, but it's softer, but it's like groovier stuff. I find myself playing less heavy music now than I used to, and I still go back and I love to jam. Like Composure by August Burns Red was one of those songs that like really, really got me into like heavy drumming and stuff like that. But I don't know. I've found myself lately enjoying playing like groovier stuff rather than like crazy blasty double bass and stuff. And I think that's because, you know, like I said, when I started getting into that kind of music when I was younger, that's all I really played for like 5 or 6 years. And now I'm kind of just stepping away from that and just exploring new genres.
So I guess like the new stuff that you're moving towards is more of like a pocket sort of feel instead of just MIDI 16th notes, right? Yeah,
and I still like to play metal from time to time, don't get me wrong, but I've just found like I said, I just sometimes just grooving and feeling and getting into that pocket's a lot of fun.
So you were involved in the writing process with the new 1,000 Below stuff, or no?
No, really just the drums. I just mapped out drums for the album pretty much. By the time they had hit me up to do all this, the album was pretty much done. So they just like sent me what they had for drums, and I kind of just went through and spiced everything up and fixed some things that I thought could be cooler and stuff like that. So it was just all, I really just did the drums.
Perfect. Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. Did you find I guess like moving out of metalcore and focusing on more like groove pocket oriented playing? Yeah. Is there those elements present in the new stuff that we're going to hear on the new record kind of thing?
I'd say so a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say the album's like, I mean, there's some groovy kind of stuff. Like, I mean, in Chemical, it's got like the closed hats and the cool kick placements and stuff. But it's still like a rock album. I really don't know how to describe it. It's definitely not as heavy as the last one. The new song that's coming out is heavier, and that one I actually enjoy the most playing.
Because it's heavier? Or?
It just, I don't know. There's a lot of energy to it, and I feel like there was a lot of room for me to incorporate like just fills and like faster, crazier stuff into that one. But yeah, I don't know. I try to just plug in whatever fits the vibe of the song. I try not to like go over the top with the drums just because I want something to be there. I want to make sure it complements the rest of the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. So when so to follow that up, when you got hit with the music, like what's your process like when like do you lay down some rough ideas on MIDI and then hit the kit, or do you hit the kit and then write some stuff? Or how does that work?
So they had like drums MIDI'd out already, just very rough. So the core beats were there, and then I would kind of mess around with the fills. I would like MIDI something out, go behind the kit, see how it felt when I'm actually playing it. If I didn't like it, I would change it. So I definitely wanted it to be like my style of you know, putting that touch on it and everything, but at the same time I want it to feel natural. I don't want it to be anything that like I'm playing, I'm like, this feels weird or this isn't something I would do. So yeah.
Okay, so what take me to, so I know that you have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
At what age did you start the YouTube channel, and like what was the intention getting that off the ground?
I think I posted my first cover ever when I was like 13 or 14. It was The Downfall of Us All by A Day to Remember. That's one of the bands that really got like, I was really into back then too. Probably one of my favorite bands of all time just over the years. But yeah, it was that. So I was probably about 13 or 14 I started doing it. I put that video out. I don't think I put anything out for like a year after that. And then I started like learning how to properly like use my mics. It's actually funny. So on that Downfall of Us All cover, I ended up only using the audio from one of the mics because I like didn't know what I was doing at all. So it sounded really bad. And yeah.
What mic was it? Like an overhead, like a?
It was a. So I bought an Audix D6 because I had heard that was like the mic for a kick, and I used the kick mic that I had in my pack. It was like the Shure. It was the Shure, or no, Samson Q. I don't know if they sell them anymore.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I remember that kit.
I used that as an overhead, and just like 13 or 14, like not knowing like anything. I was like, yeah. So it ended up sounding really bad, but I did that, and yeah. Once I actually learned how to use my mics, I started making videos more often, and I didn't put them out as often as I would have liked to, but I had one rolling out every couple of months, and I did that throughout high school, got like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers on my channel, and then I went to college for a year, and that's when Vesta hit me up because they found me through YouTube, and that's when I left college, and now I'm doing all this stuff. So hopefully it was the right choice. We'll find out.
When you're making these covers,
Mm-hmm.
Was it just like a passion project on the side, or were you like, did you have it in your head that you wanted to do this seriously at any level?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as I like started feeling like I was like getting decent at the drums, and like I said earlier, like it just felt like I wanted to learn guitar originally, and then I picked up drums, and I just felt like it was like easier and more natural for me. So I stopped playing sports and everything, and like I wanted to like do what I'm doing. I wanted to be doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm really happy. So yeah, I guess it worked, but still a long way to the top, you know. So.
At what point did you make that decision? Like, at what point were you like, hell, like I want to perform. I want to take that on as a career.
So it was like in the spring of 2016. That's when Vesta Collide hit me up, and my first year of college was coming to a close. And I said, hey, I went to my parents. I was 19. I was like, this band hit me up from Detroit. They got signed. They're going on these tours and stuff. Like, I want to give it a shot. And they were like super, super like skeptical about it because I would be like leaving school and everything. So it was a big risk, but I did it, and they've been very supportive of me through everything, and yeah, they're great. Mom and Dad, I love you guys. If you watch this, but yeah, they've been a huge help, and yeah, I don't know. As soon as I had that opportunity to like get out there and tour, because I had played shows when I was like younger. And it was all just local stuff, you know, nothing crazy. I was in local bands and stuff, but I always wanted to tour. So when that opportunity came up, I was like, I really just need to give this a shot and see what happens. And
so they hit you up, and that was your first tour you went on with them.
Yeah.
So what was it like going out on the road for the first time?
I learned a lot. Realized that, bands at this starting level don't really make a lot of money. When I was like 15 or 16, I would go to these shows and be like, these guys are like rich as hell. And now I'm here and I'm like getting by, but I'm not like loaded. So like by any means. So yeah. That was kind of a wake-up call, but I still wanted to do it. For me, it's not about like the money. It's just like I want to do it because I like it, and I'm passionate about it, and I just want to ride the wave and see where it takes me.
Yeah, of course, exactly,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like that makes total sense. That's exactly what I feel like I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
Yeah,
So
dude.
totally.
And you're crushing it. Dude. Like the YouTube channel is popping off. I'm so stoked to be doing this with you. Man.
Hell yeah! Thank you so much. So so like, what were some of like in that first tour? Outside of realizing that, oh shit, we ain't gonna make that much.
Yeah.
Outside of that, what were some things that you took away from that tour that you could, like lessons that you could use going into the next run, like right away, making some like serious, I guess, progression in your own sort of career?
I definitely got better at setting or tearing down and setting up a drum kit. Got into like a groove where like I have like a specific way I do it in an order that everything goes into my cases and everything. Obviously learned how to budget my money like way better. Learned how to
$5 a day sucks.
Yeah. If that, dude. And I don't know, I guess I just learned a lot about myself, and I feel like I came out of a shell because like I used to be like really shy, and I'm better at talking to people now, I feel like, and I'm more outgoing, and I'm still like kind of introverted, but I'm just definitely better at talking to people, and like I've learned how to be more independent, and I don't know, just how to, I mean, I'm not like the most mature guy in the world, but I'm like out here learning how to be an adult and stuff like that. So
You think tours helped you with a lot of that, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's really cool to
absolutely.
hear. All right, so take me through some of the other tours, because I know you did 3 like pretty substantial runs with Vesta, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what were I guess like by the time you got done with that band, like what had you felt that you had come away with?
I definitely met a lot of cool people. I learned, like I said, I learned a lot about myself, and just the networking and meeting those people was, I feel like, really important. I mean, 1,000 Below was a band that I met through a tour that I did with Vesta, so like that's the reason I'm here now doing this.
A lot of networking.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So what are some of like your goals going forward?
Like I said, I just want to ride the wave as long as I can, see where it takes me. I'm pretty stoked to be playing with 1,000 Below. I think their new album that's coming out is pretty good, and I feel like I can say that in an unbiased way because, like I said, I only like worked on the drums. I didn't write like melodies or guitars or anything. So those songs, when I first heard them, it was like hearing it from an outsider's perspective. It wasn't like me being like, yeah, I wrote this and I think it's good. So if I didn't like their album or their music or what they're doing, I probably wouldn't be doing this with them. So hopefully things take off with them pretty well, and I think we're in a good spot right now. And just like I said, just want to see where it goes.
So take me through, I guess, like take me through some of the gear you have out on this tour. What you're currently using?
Yeah, so I have my Truth snare, which is a 14 by 6.5. Brass, sounds awesome, and then I have a Thomas Star Classic kit. I believe it's birch, 22-inch kick, 12-inch rack, 14-inch floor. Wish it was 16, but it's not. Still sounds good though. And then the kit sounds great. And then I got Zildjian cymbals. I got 14-inch A custom hats. It's an 8-inch splash. And then I got
just A custom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I got a K Sweet Ride 19-inch.
Oh hell yeah.
And then I got a 21-inch A Sweet Ride. That's like my favorite cymbal of all time. Like riding and crashing sounds awesome. And then I have a 19-inch A custom crash. And like I said, I have China cymbals at home, but I don't use them with this band. So
What pedals are you currently using?
I have Axis I think they're the XL2 longboards. I've had them for 6 years. They've held up great. No issues at all.
Right on.
They're pretty sick.
They're direct drive?
Yeah. They're fast as hell. Took a little bit of getting used to back then because I was playing like chain drive pedals, and they were very light, but they were also very fast. But it felt like I didn't really have a lot of control at first. But I mean, like I said, I've been playing them for 6 years. I'm adjusted to them now, and they've held up better than any other pedal I've ever used in my life. Never broke anything, so I like them.
Before the Axis, what chain were you on?
I don't even remember.
No,
they were like
6 years ago.
Yeah, they were like some shitty like starter pedals. I don't even remember.
So did you find the difference in power? Like you said, it was kind of lighter.
Well, I had played like I didn't have like 9000s or anything like that, but I had played them before, and I noticed like how much more control they just hit really hard. The Axis didn't feel like that, but the Axis beaters that they come with are like super light. So I actually I think they're like these pearl beaters that I had laying around. I put those in there. I've had them in there for a while, and they feel pretty good. I've just been rolling with that.
Right on. Right on.
Oh yeah, Vic Firth sticks, always my whole life. Vic Firth 5Bs.
5Bs?
Yeah. What do you use?
I used 5Bs, then I went to 2Bs, then I went to rock, then I went to metal, and now I'm on Vic Firth Thomas Langs.
Damn.
They're massive.
That's sick,
They're tree
dude.
trunks.
That's
They're logs.
I started out on a 5As, but they were breaking too fast. That's when I was like when I started, like I said, I was like 12 or some shit. I was breaking those too quick.
Yeah.
And then I did the 5Bs, felt like they were too heavy. So I went with I think they're called 55As or something. They're like right in the middle. I was using those for a little while, and then I switched back to 5Bs. I've probably been using 5Bs for like 4 years now.
Right on.
I love them, yeah.
Yeah, I love massive sticks.
Yeah.
I love big sticks.
Yeah.
Breaks a lot of cymbals.
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
of
dude.
cymbals.
I hate breaking cymbals, but it happens.
Yeah. Do you go through cymbals often?
Yeah, kind of. I hit pretty hard. I know you do too. So
I hit incredibly hard. I hit way too hard.
Makes it fun.
I
dude.
hit disgustingly hard. I'll hit Sweetwater up after 3 days of owning a new China.
Yeah.
I got bad news. Gonna need another one of these.
This is how it goes, man.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about big sticks. There's something about. Have you tried those Thomas Lang sticks?
No.
They the balance point is shifted forward.
Okay.
I was talking to a company called Scorpion Percussion. They wanted to do like a Wyatt Stav custom stick at one point.
That'd be sick.
It would be.
Yeah.
But it never ended up coming to life because literally when I was talking to them, I told them, I was like, all right, here's the deal. And this is what I've told other companies too. I would love to do something with you, but you essentially have to take the Thomas Lang stick and we'll just tweak it a little bit and put my name on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, yeah, let's see if we can make it happen. So then they took the Thomas Lang stick and spent a couple weeks trying to break it down for me.
Yeah.
And they came back to me and they're like, yeah, the balance point, and they had a bunch of words that I haven't heard. You know what I mean? Like I can memorize, okay, 5B, good. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know what they were talking about, but the balance point had been shifted forward to be more like a marching, like more like a drum corps stick, right?
Yeah.
More towards the end of the stick, and that's that on the drum kit. It just feels so good. There's something weird about it. My Lindsay, she was with me at the music store kind of thing that I get sticks from, whatever, right? Like the local shop, and she pulled them off the shelf, and I was picking up Vic Verse metal, and she pulled them off the shelf, and she's like, "Yo, Thomas Lang, is that drummer you're always talking about?" I'm like,
He's
"Yeah,
really good. Yeah.
That is that drummer. Why?" And she's like, "Look, here's his sticks." So I picked it up. I tapped it on the pad they had it by the stick. Of course, they're gonna have a stick shelf with pads nearby, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And you play it, and it doesn't feel like any drumstick I've ever played before. It's something. There's something really special about those sticks.
And you were just hooked. You were just like, "This is
beyond
it."
Hooked.
Yeah.
Beyond hooked. They're
That's
perfect
cool,
for stick
man.
tricks, and they're massive. Like you don't need to put a lot of pressure, and you can bring out the full dynamic of a snare drum, a tom.
sick,
You just go
dude.
right through it.
Hell yeah.
What heads do you have in your kit?
So I use I have an Evans Onyx on my snare, which like it's super. You use that too? Yeah, you use it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I've been using
I
Evans
like
for
it,
years.
dude. I don't know. A lot of people are like, "What the fuck?" But I think it's I think first of all it's durable because I break heads just like I break cymbals. Like we hit hard, it happens. So that thing holds out very long, which is awesome. I think it sounds good. It sounds fat, and it's still sensitive. Like you still get like the dynamics and the ghost
Exactly.
notes out of it. Still sounds very open. So I like it. I've been using it for a couple years. Never saw a reason to switch. And I've tried like so many drum heads, dude. And that was the one that like I just didn't have any problems with.
Yep.
So I kept using that. My Truth kit back home is an acrylic kit, and this is wild, but it honestly does sound the best because acrylic drums sound kind of funky. But my kit back home sounds awesome. It's I use Evans G2 coated on top and a G1 coated on the bottom.
Yeah, that does sound funky.
I would never do that on a wooden kit because it would just be like too dead. Yeah, but on the acrylics, dude, I swear it sounds amazing. It brings out that warmth and that tone. I don't know, it's weird. But on wooden drums, on this tour that I'm using that Birch Tama kit, I have just EC2s and then and G1 clears on the bottom. So
that's what my toms are right now.
Yeah.
Both those.
Yeah. Standard. Sounds
super
good.
standard. Yeah.
Sounds great.
They're really punchy and there's a good amount of sustain to it.
Yeah,
And you still
I
get that
them,
like
dude.
boom, and you're good to go.
I think they sound really good,
Yeah.
So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
I tell everybody with the Onyx head is like the thing I like about it is you can crank it. Like I'll do 2 turns all the way around and then I'll put like 1 or 2 moon gels on it and it's fat.
Yeah.
Like it's good to go, but you still like you said, that's a really good point. There's something about that head because I think it's just because like there's not too many layers to it.
Mm-hmm.
You still get like a nice like a ghost note, like a clean ghost,
dude.
and it still responds really well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that head a lot.
Yeah.
I tried those on the toms. I had them on my toms at one point.
Yeah.
They didn't work. Like I have a 7-ply maple kit.
Yeah.
My rack tom is a 12x8 and my floor tom's 16x16.
Yeah.
So they didn't do like I don't know. I can't do my kit with maple. I can't do coated heads at all.
Yeah.
On the have you ever tried coated heads on the toms?
Yeah. Not on this kit, but on I used to have a Mapex. Well, actually, I still have it. It's a Mapex Birch kit that I used to play when I was a lot younger, and yeah, I tried coated heads on it. I don't know. It really depends on the kit. Like sometimes I like that warmer, drier sound of the coated heads, and sometimes I like the punchy, like more attack sound of the clear heads. This really depends what I'm playing, and it depends a lot on the kit. But yeah, a lot of variables, but whatever works, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Experiment with it. Have you ever tried a snare weight on your snare?
No, I only discovered snare weight as of literally a couple days ago.
Dude, it's sick.
What is it?
It's literally just like this little, it just clips onto your rim, and there's like a few different versions of it. I think mine is like one of the more basic ones, but it just clips onto the rim of your snare and just rests there. So it's not like a moon gel that like sticks to the head, because I use moon gels on my toms. I used to use on the snare too, and I love them, but I feel like on the snare it kind of, I don't know, since it's like sticking to it, I feel like it kind of messes up the vibration of the head, and the when I'm doing like the ghost note dynamic stuff, I can almost feel that. So the snare, I like the snare weight. On the toms, I use the moon gels. And way back in the day, I used to use the plastic rings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I thought they sounded good on my toms and everything, and then as I got older, I was like, because dude, back then when I was listening to like all those like early metalcore bands, like fat snares and like super short decay toms was like the thing. So like I just wanted my toms to sound like dead as hell all the time. And then as I got older, I was like, nah, I'm gonna stop doing this. And I was like the only guy that like I would use the rings. Like everyone that I would watch like wasn't using them. I was like, well, this sounds so good. Why isn't anybody else doing that? And like now I understand it's just like not the way to go. So
yeah, I remember my first experience with rings was the place I was taking lessons, like super early on. I would go there and I would always like, why are these rings on here? Like, so we don't have to tune them. Oh, okay.
Exactly. That's all it does. It just hides bad tuning. That's literally all it does. That's why my drums sounded okay back then.
Yeah, you put those on and then those Vic Firth isolation headphones.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
It is loud as you want.
You can't actually hear how it sounds.
Yeah. Because it's just cutting everything.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect EQ.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. The only one that I would mess with now is that company, Big Fat Snare Drum.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks really sick. I like the way it sounds.
Yeah,
looks pretty cool.
I've played around with it, not on my kit, but I have played around with it on 14 snares. Like that's the thing with me is I'm so familiar with the 13 because like I think it's been It's been 6 years I've been on a 13-inch snare,
Damn,
which I
yeah.
never thought was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
This is my third kit, and it came with a 13-inch snare, and I was like, all right, I'll buy a 14, I'll use this as a side snare.
Yeah.
But there's just something about that 13, man. It just like, it cracks.
It pops, dude.
Just cracks,
I have a
man.
13-inch snare back home. It's a Mapex Black Panther Blaster, 13x7. Is that what you have?
No.
But you know,
I was literally
yeah.
about to say, Matt
Yeah.
Halpern,
It's
13
it's a
inches.
sick snare, dude. I
Yeah.
love it. But once I got my deal with Truth, I like needed to start playing a Truth snare, so they built me one. And I
Yeah.
love that thing too, more than the Mapex one. But either way, still sick.
All of the new, that's what I noticed about Matt Halpern recently, is all of the new Periphery stuff was on a 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
At least the playthrough videos. I'm sure he used the same kit in the studio.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah, but he, you know how like when they drop new stuff, he always has the playthroughs on his channel. But Nolly does the mixes for his playthroughs still, so I imagine it's probably the same snare on the record. But he has a 13 in all those videos.
Damn,
yeah,
that's
and
pretty cool.
It just cracks, man.
Yeah.
I loved it because I mean, especially me early on, like my whole early exposure to doing this professionally was just performance.
Yeah.
It was a long time before I had done anything with recording at all, or even like taking covers seriously.
Yeah.
So all of my early stuff was just performance, and like that snare just cuts through a mix live.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like when you're in a controlled, you know, environment, or you're inside of a DAW and everything is completely controlled.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to worry about like that level of like cutting, I guess, you know. But when you're chugging inside of a guitar wall on stage and you come down on that 13 and it's just like a little bit above where a 14 would be, it just goes, you know, like you
Dude,
can feel it. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, right. So I've played around with the Big Fat on the 14s, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know,
I want to try it, man.
they're cheap too, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not. It's not crazy. There's nothing crazy expensive about them. Yeah.
Kind of sucks because like where I live is like, so there's Philly, and then an hour away is Reading, and then I'm like 20 minutes outside of that in like the middle of nowhere at all. It's like all farms and stuff. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, it's nice, but like if I want to like go to Guitar Center, I got to drive like an hour.
Sweetwater.
So, true. But I just haven't gotten around to buying one of those yet. Because I do order most of my stuff online because I'm not trying to drive super far anywhere.
Yeah.
And we have a couple local music stores around, and some of them are pretty good. They have good stuff, but they don't have like a crazy selection of like drum stuff. So yeah, most of my stuff's online. But yeah.
I find that with Sweetwater, and like I'm not being paid to say this, but with Sweetwater being in Canada, like there's an exchange rate and then there's duties at the border for me to get anything into the country. So if I order anything online, like I'm guaranteed two things. One is I'm going to have to pay extra once it crosses the border. And two is they're going to rip open all my stuff and check how much I have to pay extra by.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, it is. It really sucks. I mean, I live in here, Toronto, so we're only about 2 hours from the border. So a lot of the time I will literally order it to a UPS store across the border
and just go
drive
get it
over,
yourself.
pick it up. That way I know that no one's going to ruin my brand new cymbal or whatever. But for lesser, like minor stuff that I know that they can't break, I will order it. But even after all of that, I find that ordering on Sweetwater is just still cheaper than local Canadian stores. Maybe it's because music retailers crossing into Canada with their goods have to upcharge because of whatever. Who knows, right?
I'm not sure how it all works.
Yeah.
Really,
But I go to Sweetwater for all my stuff just because of that. Like I can go into the States and I can get something at Guitar Center and it'd be more reasonable. But like local music shops near me are still more expensive than if I order online from an American online distributor, which is so strange.
Yeah, I do. I order from Amazon quite a little bit. I actually did get my last cymbal. I got a new a custom 19-inch Crash. I think it was before the last tour because mine was like jacked up. I got it at a Guitar Center and I got like a 3-year warranty on it. So that was pretty cool.
Have you played around with Amazon's warranties?
I don't really know about any of that. No.
Okay, so a drummer I know bought a bunch of Sabian cymbals years ago, and he's not the heaviest hitter. At least he wasn't at the time, but he's come a long way since.
Yeah.
It's been I think it's been 3 years since he bought them, and he bought them all on Amazon, but he got a 5-year warranty. He paid $50 for the 5-year warranty when he got the cymbals.
That's nice.
Yeah, and literally the other day, he broke a cymbal for the first time. They didn't even need the cymbal back. They just sent him a refund for that cymbal.
That's nice, dude.
I was super surprised.
Yeah.
That
is
blew
really
my mind.
I got the 3-year warranty on that 19-inch A Custom Crash at a Guitar Center. I think it was like an extra like $80 or something, but I figured like, I don't know, if I'm going to break this within 3 years, like absolutely. So like,
for sure.
It's basically like buying another cymbal for $80 rather than like $350 or however much they're worth. And I know you can send cymbals back to Zildjian, but I don't know. I don't want to like wait forever, and I don't know. Just figured I'd do it that way because they said I could like take it to any Guitar Center anywhere and just exchange it right then and there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if they don't have it in stock, they'll just give me like a gift card or whatever for like equal the value. So I just figured I would do that. Yeah.
I've been since I switched to MEINL, which has been only a matter of months, but maybe 3 months now. But I've gotten almost the full kit, so I'm like missing 3 like I have 2 crashes and a hi-hat on the left, obviously hi-hat on the left. Those are the last 2 that need to be replaced. And then I have 4 cymbals on the right, they're all MEINL, and my splash on the left is MEINL. And I have broken I've broken 4 cymbals, and I have 5 cymbals at the kit right now. So 4 of them are broken. One of them was a China twice, though. And like MEINL's been amazing, man. It's been amazing. Dude. You literally call them up. They send you a RAF number or whatever. You put it on the box, ship it back to them, and they give you a new cymbal.
Dope, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I was playing TRX for years and never using their warranty because it didn't really cover anything. And now that I'm actually using warranties, I'm like, whoa, cymbals are way less expensive than I thought.
They're that's nice, man. Because they are not cheap. Like at all.
No, it's crazy.
And breaking them
guitarists
sucks.
can't understand.
Yeah, dude. They'll never understand. Setting up a kit, breaking everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could just sing really well.
I know, right?
It's too late, though.
Yeah. Every time I have to go on Sweetwater and buy a new cymbal or something, I wish I was a singer.
Yeah.
Or a guitar player. I mean, packs of strings and picks are one thing, but...
Yeah. Anything with drums traveling is just, like, so expensive, and it sucks, but... It's what we're doing.
So that's another thing to ask you is like as far as like reskinning, do you like bring like how many skins do you bring out? Like how often do you do that on the road?
I just have a spare snare head right now. I switch out the kick and toms before each tour, and
just like one set's good.
Yeah. I assume they're gonna last long enough. If not, there's Guitar Centers all over the country, so we could always get new ones if we have to. I usually most of the tours we do are like a month long, 3 weeks to like 5 weeks roughly. So I figure they're gonna last like long enough. If I had all the money in the world and a tech and all that stuff, I'd be switching them every day, but can't. And I just bring an extra snare head. Swap out the rest before the tour. So
the only one I used to bring, the only one that I used to swap out a lot was my kick, which is the most expensive. But I was terrified that I was gonna put a beater through a head. Like as soon as I noticed the kick head wearing in, and you get a little bit of an indent.
I've broken them before, dude. It's not a good feeling.
Have you done it live?
No, thank God. Yeah. I put the patch on. I use the EMAD 2.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's
same here.
It's thicker, and I trust that it won't break. But yeah, I put the little patches over it because I think it sounds a little better and it helps it not break. So
yeah, I do the same. I got the aquarium or the Evans ones are pretty good. They're pretty thick. Yeah, you can really dig into those guys.
Yeah,
but that's the one I always would bring extras just in case.
Yeah.
There's so many horror stories of people.
Dude, yeah.
Gabe did it with I Prevail before the Trauma tour, whatever the tour was before that. He was telling me about it.
Damn.
But he had to play like with his or they swapped it out with like an SJC kick that was like from one of the locals or something.
Yeah,
real quick.
Oh, that's good that they at least had a backup because if I was in that situation, I didn't have any options. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have bass and the kick drum in the mix, I guess.
Well, you play with Axis, so you're never gonna punch it.
Yeah, true.
You guys trigger it all, or?
With Vesta, we did. Yeah, we used the kick sample that was on the record. They had like a crazy rig, man. We had like a kick trigger. We had like 4 cabs, like 2 bass cabs, 2 guitar cabs. It was intense. We had like this massive head case, and it was like sounded really sick, but it was like annoying to tour with all that much stuff. Like it was just like loading and unloading the trailer every day was like a pain in the ass. 1,000 Below, we have it all set up digitally. Guitar tones like automated and everything, and I think it sounds great, and it's way easier, way quicker, it's more efficient. Just makes it easier. So
It's like all amp sims in a rack case and you're good to go.
yeah, pretty much. So I mean, I could be wrong. As far as I know, I'm not like, I really only know drums, but as far like we don't have any cabs or amps or anything. It's just that rack. So
looking back from the standpoint of like when you had decided to do this professionally, between then and now, if you could go back and tell yourself, here are some potholes you need to avoid, what would those lessons be? What would you kind of undo and redo differently?
I don't know. I guess like the biggest advice I can give to like anybody, and this doesn't even just go for touring in general, just like in general, just be a nice person. I mean, on tour, like, it's really easy to get irritated quick. You don't have like the best like living situation all the time. You're malnourished. You're like all that stuff. So I try to be in like the best mood I possibly can to like everybody, and I think that makes things easier for everyone else. Because if your people are nice to you, it'll be it goes both ways, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
So was that a mistake, or were you a terrible person at one point? What's up, Max? What are you saying,
I know.
bro?
I mean, I'm trying to think of like, I'm sure I've made mistakes in the past. Nothing crazy comes to mind. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. I'm not at all.
I'm just
like,
playing with you, bro.
I know, but like, I don't know.
Okay, what about on the? I'm gonna dig a little deeper into this.
Yeah.
What about on the technical side of things? Was there? See, for me, I would have picked up another instrument, maybe learn some pitches along the way.
Yeah.
Was there anything?
Yes, dude. Yeah. So like, I just started learning how to like play guitar and stuff like a couple years ago, and the reason I wanted to do that was because I would hear cool ideas for like a song in my head, and I wouldn't be able to bring it to life because I didn't know how to play guitar or anything. So, yeah, I wish earlier on, and it's funny because I had originally gone to that like School of Rock thing to learn guitar, and then I just like stopped. But yeah, dude, like piano, anything like that, like I can, like, I have a good ear for notes, but I also don't know, like if you hummed a note, I wouldn't be able to tell you what it is. So I can tell if something's like off key and stuff like that, but I don't actually know like the correct like theory of it all. And I want to learn that kind of stuff, and I feel like I really should. Like piano is like the root of all that stuff, so maybe learning a little bit of piano wouldn't be a bad idea for me.
I years ago I started with the because literally I feel like a lot of drummers come to that realization eventually. They're like, you just get to the point where you're like, oh damn, like I wish I knew what everybody else in the band knew. And like I did that. I went and picked up piano, picked up a guitar, and I did the iPad app.
That's good.
I just
dude.
it was literally like I used a keyboard, and it was like a MIDI keyboard into a MIDI USB converter that attached to an iPad, and you can play it like it's Guitar Hero or something.
That's cool.
So
dude.
it'll scroll on the screen like the actual notation with the staff, treble
That's really
clef.
sick.
But it's essentially Guitar Hero. When you miss it, it'll be like you messed up, bro.
So give you like a percentage at the end and all that shit?
Yeah, you
That's
got star
cool,
power
dude.
and everything, man.
That's dope. I need to check that out.
There's a few apps
That's
now,
pretty
man.
cool.
Like there's one that you can sing into. It's by the same developer. They have a guitar one.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, they're pretty cool for like just like learning. I don't know. Maybe as a singer, maybe that would help with like learning the pitch values or the relationship between notes or something. I don't know. But yeah, man. So yeah, is there anything you want to plug, like your socials, your band, let people know where to connect with you, kind of thing? Yeah.
So on Twitter and Instagram, the band is just at 1,000 Below. My socials, Instagram and Twitter, is at Max_Santoro. I think that's really it. I also want to give a shout out to my brother because he's been shredding guitar a lot. And when you brought up like other instruments and stuff, like he can drum, piano, guitar. He's recording. He's going to like a music school and everything. So
hell yeah, dude, that's sick. Good for him.
He is like insanely talented. So I want to shout him out. Yeah, I think that's about
Sweet,
it.
Man, hell yeah,
dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
For this, dude.
Of
This is awesome.
It's been a blast.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, dude. It's been a couple years, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God,
it's
it
crazy.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's weird too because you spent so much time with Vesta, and I knew the band so well. And I was hanging out, and they were like, "Yo, check out this guy Max. We're gonna bring him onto the band." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." And then we only really got to hang out like once or twice, just because of the way our paths kind of.
I mean, I was like I said, I live in Pennsylvania. They're from Detroit. It's like both these bands that I've toured with, like I have had to like been like back and forth all over the place. So if you were ever in Detroit with them, like I wasn't there. And
exactly.
yeah. Things,
I would show up with John, and we'd be like, "Yo, where's Max at?" No, he's back home.
Yeah. So.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So there you have it. I really hope you enjoyed episode 10 of Line Check. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Max, and I hope you took something away from it that you can apply in your own career at the drum set. If you really enjoy my content and you would like to support the channel and help me to continue to make this content, then you can do so by checking out my merch link in the description below and possibly pledging to me on Patreon. My patrons get access to dozens of awesome perks, including one-on-one time with me, as well as they get to actually listen to these line checks live while I'm taping them over our Discord server. So I strongly recommend you check out both those links in the description below. Lastly, you can connect with myself and Max through all of our social media links and pages as well in the description below. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I will see you guys all very soon with something new.